Now let us talk about the need and also the usage for unions, okay? So I think the best thing we can do right now is to start with a simple example. Let us see some code snippet with the syntax regarding unions and then discuss what's going on behind the scenes. So first of all, how we define a union. So how to define a union. How we basically will define it in our programming language. So first of all, we are going to use the union keyword. So that's going to look like this. Okay, so union. Okay, this is a saved keyword that will specify that now we are at the process of defining the union. And then we will specify the union name. Okay, here will be the union name that we will choose. Okay, I'm just showing you now the template. That's not an actual definition because we will have to replace here this union name with a real name. And now what we are going to do is to specify inside of this union some data type 1. Okay, so data type 1 and field 1, and then data type 2 and field 2, and so on and so forth. So field 2 and so on. Okay, so that's basically the definition of a union. Okay, so that's the template. And if we want to take a look at some example of how basically a real union can be defined, so let us use something like this. Okay, so union, that's the first keyword, union, and then we will specify its name, let's say info. And now we will also say what will be its fields. Okay, so let's create an array of characters. So char first name with 20 characters. And also let's create additional variable. Let's call it, I don't know, age. Okay, so we created a union called info, and it has two fields. The first field is first name, and that's an array of characters of size 20. And also we have age, which is an integer. All right, so what you also can do, you can create any other union that you want. I don't know, union, min max. Okay, I don't know, something like this, or average, whatever you decide. And here you use two variables. Oops, sorry about that. Int min and int max, and I don't know, double average. I don't know, whatever you want, you can use as part of the fields of this union. And we will see the differences between these unions to structures because there is a difference. There is a difference, and that's what we are going to discuss right now, because the creation of the union is pretty similar to how we used structs, right? Because structs we simply used here like struct, min, max, and then we created some fields. So union definition, the definition of a union is very, very straight, very, very similar to the structure, but is actually has quite differences behind the scenes. But before we do so, let's first of all just remove this, I don't know, this template, okay, or basically let's comment it. Let's make it a comment. So that will be a long comment that will specify the template for creating a union, and this will be some union that we will use for these examples. Okay, so now before we will proceed and dive into what's happening behind the scenes, I will also use some drawing, some visualization to make it more clear to you. What I want us to do now is just to focus on basically how we can create a variable of this user defined type of this union that we just created, this union info. So if we want to create a variable of some user-defined union type, then in this case, it will look like this. Okay, so let's write also down the template. Okay, so that's the template of running it. So first of all, you specify union and the union name, and then you specify also the variable name. Okay, so that's basically the main template for creating a variable. Okay, creating a variable template for creating a union variable. Okay, a union that has already been defined. So in our case, we will simply use something like this. So union info, and let's say, I don't know, my variable. Okay, let's call it my variable 1. So this will create a new variable called my variable 1, and it's going to be of type, what type? Union info. Okay, nothing special. And this type, you know how it looks like behind the scenes. Basically, that's its definition, and how it really represented in terms of like visually, we are going to see right away.